Alright, hello friends. If you're watching the stream, you'll know that I actually got done with page 1 of Rabbit Fighter. There's just one thing I'd like to fix on it, and I had a mistake. I posted this on Instagram with the mistake, and since people already kind of liked it, I didn't bother to correct the mistake. It's not the final resting place of the comic, so you know what you see there is kind of like a preview. This speech bubble, yeah, you were pretty out of it for that part, but we made it, and check out my new duds, is Rabbit Fighter's line. In the Instagram version, it looks like he's saying this line, because I moved the speech bubble way over here, and I wasn't paying attention when I did my bubbles. I guess I was distracted. As you can see, I went with tones, I decorated my pillars. And I'm pretty happy about this page overall and the character designs. I really like how I'm drawing Iseult lately. I have a page 2 drawn out and even got some text on the page. And I'm trying this new thing where I'm drawing the panel borders in Rusty Nib as well. I usually use Technical Pen. I've decided I like the Rusty Nib look. So let's go for it. We're at least gonna, there we go. How about like this? And this? Alright. I have so many complicated feelings on comics. And ideas and philosophies. And, you know, I think everybody does. And some of those ideas and philosophies and opinions might be considered offensive by some, but I don't think they should be. You know, if two people disagree on how comics should be, it's probably not the end of the world. I disagree on even what a story is. And I don't know if I'm on the more open idea of what a story is. I think that a story, a narrative requires a sequence of actions and moves towards a conclusion. I don't like these sort of non-stories, these where nothing really happens, or the whole point is just to make some kind of nonsensical statement or something. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but there's some comics there that'll be like, you know, the comic idea is a cat that, you know, is an international jewel thief, and the cat will, you know, be talking to the audience about his philosophy of jewel thieves or whatever. And I just don't know if that counts. Is that a story? I guess I don't understand it. Maybe it's one of the. Maybe that's the real issue. I see something like that. And here's where I'm conflicted. I quite like Bill Griffith, Zippy the Pinhead, right? And those are very weird comics. But you know what? They actually are in panels. So even if it's completely nonsensical, it's still I can at least appreciate it still has a, you know, starting point and an ending point. If you don't have the panels, it throws me off even further. And you know, and once again, I sort of fall into this Scott McCloud definition of a comic. And you know, I don't know if you know if you've read Understanding Comics. Scott McCloud does not consider it a comic unless it has more than one panel. So if like Family Circus doesn't count as a comic under the Scott McCloud definition, because what makes it a comic is the space between the panels, the implied unseen world that's taking place behind the panels. And you know, in modern times, such as it is, we've exploded the idea of the panels. You know, even comic artists that I quite like, cartoonists that I quite like Rick Veitch, like Stephen R. Bissett, they say, I hate the grid, you know? And I can't remember what's the other thing that he was saying. He had like a whole style of just doing these one panel per page things. And I can't remember what it was called. It was like panel vision or something. I can't remember what it really was though. He had a name for it. And for some reason I can't consider those comics for whatever reason. I mean, it could be something else. For the most part, I don't even consider Prince Valiant to be a comic. And many of the Hal Foster, and I love Hal Foster, Flash Gordons, you know, because what they eventually became, near the end anyways, and Alex Raymond, same deal, it's just sort of an illustration, a cool illustration, a great illustration, but not in a way that I understood as a comic. Now, yes, I am very biased. I'm biased by my history. I'm biased by my study of comics, my personal study of comics. And I don't know. You know, they don't really have this argument at all in Japan where they understand comics in the exact same way that I understand it for the most part. Or they seem to. Or maybe I'm just reading only a certain type of comic. Like, I don't even really like the doujinshis where you just see the face of a character and there's no backgrounds and they just talk to each other. It just leaves me cold. I don't like a lot of the fan art style comics where nothing really happens and it's just sort of, you know, there's some fetish stuff going on. You know, let's show this character having sex with this other character even though they're not really romantically attached. I just realized I fucked this up. I've done this whole thing on the layer 1. It shouldn't be there. I didn't have an inking layer. Alright, inking. I-N-K-I-N-G. Boom. Alright. Let's take out layer 2. Alright, let's fix this hand. Lately, my approach to hands I'm looking at my hand here. This pinky finger, you should draw the closest digit first. So in this case, even though I would normally start on the pointer finger, I think it should be the pinky. And the pinky maybe that's where it is. Easy to get it wrong, I tell you what. I should probably move all of this ink from the panel layer to where it needs to be. Easy enough, right? There we go. So now we've got some problems still. See, I've got just a little bit. Whew. Get back on layer 1. It is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. This is the first St. Patrick's Day in a long time where I haven't made a corned beef brisket, which I quite like to make. Okay, we're back on our inking layer. There we go, we threw a line there. I'm wondering if this finger... What if we do it this way? The speech bubble is going to tangent off the ears, but I think it's okay if we cover the ears. If it becomes a problem, maybe I redraw the ear. Whoops. If it becomes a problem, we can take the ear. Move it somewhere like that. So anyways, yeah. That was just on my mind this morning, just thinking about why doesn't this work for me, you know? Some of these comics. Now, there's a great history of sort of mysterious, not easily comprehended comics in the world. One need look no further than Nancy. Or Crazy Cat. I think that this first finger... What if I have the first finger kind of out, like back here? I think that looks okay. Alright, let's talk about texture. This is cloth. This is fur. And this is metal. And all of those things are just textures. So study your textures, your Alphonse Dunn textures. A lot to learn in there. Oops. Let's do a little bit of fur on the outside. He's got fuzzy ears. He's blind in one eye, he's scarred over. This will eventually become like a plot point in Rabbit Fighter. We've never really explained it, it's always just been part of his character design. Alright. Oops, too thick. Too thick. There we go. He swung his legs over the side. He's sitting on that lounger stone table thing. I think it might be fun to make some self-referential references to having to wear sandals instead of the cowboy boots, because he's gonna have to change. He's gonna also have like the Greco-Roman outfit as well. I've been looking at a lot of Kirby lately. This was a gift from Evan Hill. The early journey into mysteries, beginning the saga of Thor. These are all the Jack Kirby Thors, and they're gorgeous. They're great. There's the radioactive man. Thor versus Thor. Thor versus Loki. Thor versus Merlin. I think people have been socially pressured into saying Jack Kirby was great, but not everyone really believes that. I don't think. You know, if they did, they would there would be more people that knew how to emulate him. Now, I, on the other hand, actually do think Jack Kirby is the best. He's my, that's who I really want to look like. You know? But it's also, it's my main influence. Like, I grew up with those to a degree, and I know that I'm older, and a lot of people didn't have the opportunity to grow up with those. So it's not like I can criticize anybody. I'm not criticizing anybody. Alright, let's see if we got the, I need to get the haircut consistent, and the eyebrows. The nose is a bit long. Okay. Here he is again. Is the nose long enough? This is all looking pretty good. I'm moving my moving my mouse. Alright, let's see. Is his head too big for his body? That's another question. I might have to be doing some changes for that, but we'll see. This arm is in a sling. He's still recovering. And then his chest is wrapped too. So when you have something that you want to like fade out in the background, black shadows is usually the wrong choice, and I'll tell you why. Black brings things forward. White can be the extreme that also brings things forward. So what are your choices if you're playing black and white? Well, you can do this halftone thing, and in this case I'm doing hatching to create a gray tone. Gray tone sync back. And so that's what I'm hoping that this does. Alright, let's see. We may only get one panel today on this. Amen. That? It was something like that. Alright, the other problem, I think his head still is a bit too big. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to give it a shot by just not a big shrink. A little shrink. I think that looks okay. Yeah, I got some YouTube comments from a couple of people saying, hey, you've inspired me to want to make comics. Follow that instinct. You don't have to follow my channel or anything like that, but I'm glad you did. But it really does make me happy that you wanted to make comics, even if you don't follow me. I think it's a cool art form. It's a great expressive medium. I love writing, but I don't have the patience to write the sci-fi novel that's, you know, that I've always wanted to write, or the fantasy series that I've always wanted to write. I've played Dungeons and Dragons my whole life, but I've never managed to write this long-form series, or, you know, I'm good at making up stories, but I'm not good at the execution of finishing them. And I think that's true for a lot of people. But if you manage to figure out comics, you can do it. And that's so, and I've only been doing this for a little while, you know, relatively speaking. There should be some rips. There was some hatch marks and stuff. Let's do the muddy boots. The other thing we want to imply is some background. Now, if you look at this page, I'm going to show you the pencils here again in a second. This is the background. It's got these sort of archways with the drama masks and this Greek key motif. And you can see it appears in a couple of places. Let me show you my pencils for this page, and you're going to see, I'm going to strip away the illusion. You're looking at this and you're probably thinking, oh, it looks okay. As far as the dialogue goes, almost every one of these, I think except for that panel right there. So these four panels, these are straight Bollywood panels. This one, I can't remember which one. This one, I think this one is like a contrast one. This is the very big head. Maybe this one, I don't know if this one is. This one, there's definitely one that's like this though. So never forget what the Bollywood subtitle to that is, which is what you draw when the characters are having a boring conversation. It's not a boring conversation here. This is the setup for the whole story. And the setup is all here. We can't stay in Arcadia very long. the robot hand we fluid had some kind of bad element in it. And we need to get it off the shard. So that's the whole setup, is in these two panels. So that's a big deal, right? That's what we really want to emphasize to the reader, and so that they follow us on the adventure. And the adventure is going to be, first they're going to go back outside, they're going to get that robot hand and investigate it. They're going to figure out that it's a battery with an element called argentite. And although you can't tell from this page, Isolde is a divine werewolf. There's a werewolf legend in Greek myth where Zeus turns a character into a werewolf, but I've kind of combined and mashed up all these things. And the argentite, which has the name silver in it, is something that's like kryptonite to her. And it's kryptonite to this whole shard. It's a forbidden element. A corrupting element. So the idea here is, eventually the shard starts to react by generating monsters that are going to go after them to get the argentite somehow. Maybe there's a dark force. I don't know. I'll have to think about it even more. But that is going to be the adventure, and it's going to be like, I hate to use the word epic, but I mean epic in the literary sense, where they're going to be crossing a wide range of territory, traveling. That's an epic. And to find the nearest portal where they can dispose of the argentite, and they're going to have to fight some kind of huge monster, I think. Because you know what comics are really about? We've had all this discussion. Comics are about epic battles with giant robots and monsters, in my opinion. It might as well be. Two of the things that I love. Oops. Let's do this. We're going to put it on its own layer. Once again, this is only layer 13. I've got 13 layers. There we go. And he'll be framed in the dark part between the columns. And then this one. And then we're going to have, that's where the drama mask is, and then there's the curtains. And take away the pencils, and we're going to have an environment that makes sense. So let's black out the blacked out area behind him. I think it's right here. Got a problem. I got black hair. Oh, I remember what I had the idea. I was going to do this like in a washed out white Ben Day, but I don't think I can do that now. It wouldn't make sense because he's, you know, he's behind this black curtain. So here's the problem. Here's the real problem. Let me get back to the layer 13. He's got black hair. And he's in front of a black background. So So it's almost going to look like his hair gets washed out unless I figure out a trick. And the trick is going to be the halo effect. Which is we give him a thin outline. No, this will probably not work, but let's give it a shot. It worked. Alright. Now, what we also could do get back to the inking layer. We could do a top light. Top light works fine and actually defines him really nicely. Now we're going to do a similar black background right next door, right over here on this archway. But I think we're going to save that. We'll save that for another video. I'm glad that I'm tracking on a Sunday. Let's see. This it's going to be down here. Everything's looking good. And, you know, you learn something new every day. So there you go. Alright, please like, follow, and subscribe. There'll be more comics every day, every day, every day. If you want to join me on my comics journey, and what I mean by that is if you want to go on a comics journey, if you want to start drawing comics, definitely hang around. I'm interested in what you're doing. I'm interested. I think that, you know, it could only be now when comics are unreadable that just people come out of nowhere and just start making their own comics. So it can only be now. Well, it could have been now, or it could have been when everybody was making, during the black and white boom, when everybody was wanting to jump on board. But we have so much capability now. We have print on demand, we have crowdfunding, we have so many possibilities. Why not? Why not? Alright. I'll talk to you later. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and I will see you later.